Hi guys, Jace here. Today we're talking about mountain biking shoes, specifically clipless shoes. Now yes, I have tried flats and my shins will give evidence to the fact that I didn't get on very well with them. I found that they bounce quite a lot over rough terrain and I didn't feel at one with the bike, and when I was jumping I wasn't quite so confident. So yes, it was probably some technique and getting used to them, but after persevering and trying for a while, I decided on clipless and I would stay with clipless. Yes, I do hop on with my flats every now and then. I got a pair of 510s which are gonna last a long time. I have wanted to love them because they're casual and easy to use and look better than clipless normally. 7 or 8 years ago, when I decided to get a bike with a little bit more travel, an enduro bike, for trail riding and enduro and more downhill and jumping, I decided to look around for a shoe. Now, I went through a few pairs of shoes and I couldn't get on with them. I've got weird feet, short, not that big, size 842, quite wide. I found the laces, if I loosen them a little bit and put them in clips, I'd rotate my foot, and actually the shoe did nothing because my foot was rotating inside the foot and I couldn't get the foot out the pedal and I'd fall flat on my face or to my side. I eventually found these. So these are the Specialized Cliplite 2FO. Now 2FO stands for foot out, flat out. So it's not a bad little name, but the main reason I liked them is they were quite firm in the uppers. And also they looked reasonably casual, almost like a flat, but not quite. But more importantly, they had these boa dials. Now, they're a bit like Marmite boa dials. You either love them or hate them. Now, the reason I love them is because, as I said before, I've got wide feet and I can just micro dial these in, so I don't have to tighten it up too much. And the shoe was quite firm, and I had quite a nice fit inside. So if I did turn my foot, they would come out of the pedal quite easily. I was due for a new pair. I found eventually that my foot was touching that my toes were touching the end, and when I was going downhill, so it was banging against the toes a little bit, so that was a sure sign they were wearing out. Also, the sole was wearing out a bit. Specialized released a new 2FO Cliplite, this one. So as soon as it came out, it was the decision of whether to stick with the old one and get about 3 pairs or try the new one. And I figured I would try the new one. So let's look at the differences. There are a few subtle differences between these two shoes, and I have weighed them. And they weigh roughly the same at around about 430 grams. In fact, the newer ones, even though they probably look a little bit heavier, are lighter than the older version. Maybe because they're newer, they haven't got as much dirt on them, but I have been riding them now for a couple of months. The new ones have got those 2 boa dials. They are updated, and I actually think that they're slightly harder to use than the old version. You have to actually pull them out to release them, whereas the old ones you can just wound them out. But they're very similar and quite easy to use. And if you're concerned about the boa dials at all, I probably wouldn't be, because I have had problems with the boa dial in the past where it snapped. I've contacted Boa directly and they've got a lifetime guarantee on them, so you can just send a picture of what's wrong with them and they'll send you a new set, and it's pretty easy to fit. There is this Velcro strap on the old one, and I actually found that it didn't do too much and was pretty useless actually, and all it did was collect dirt. So it's probably worthwhile that disappearing. I think they're a little bit softer in the upper, feel more cushioned, the new ones, than the old ones did, and slightly less firm on the top. They have got updated soles, which is a great thing, I'll tell you that now, and where you attach the cleat is slightly different, and I'll go through all of the features in a second. All in all, they're similar, but different enough that perhaps you can update it without feeling too disappointed. First of all, let's talk about looks. Now, I do like the look of these compared to the old ones. They do look a little bit more like normal flats other than the bow dials, and you may not even kind of notice the difference or that they're on clips if you didn't already know. So I think that's a positive thing. They look a bit more casual and a bit more in line with flats. So they're pretty good for walking around. They do come in a couple of colors. I've seen this one, the green, and also the black. Comfort. Now, I have read online that a few people have been concerned with the tongue biting into their shin a little bit. I did find this on the first ride or two, and I was a little bit concerned about that, but actually with the bow dials I was able to adjust them and adapt. And I actually went on a 7-day Alps to Ocean ride, 300 odd kilometers, 20 odd hours of riding over that time, probably a bit more, and I actually found them very comfortable on and off the bike. So I found no problem there. So maybe give them a chance of a couple of rides and you will feel that if they did pinch in there, they probably won't anymore after breaking them in. Specialized have got their normal body geometry sole construction and footbeds, which are ergonomically designed and scientifically tested to boost power, increase efficiency, and reduce chances of injury by optimizing hip, knee, and foot angle. So that is their speak. I do find them quite comfortable though, and I have had no problems with my hip, knee, or ankle. They've got a stiff nylon composite lollipop plate, so it's pretty solid in there, so really good for biking. And as I said before, it's lightweight, so that is also a plus in my book. The tops are smooth, lightweight, and bonded so that they don't snag on anything, but I guess you've got the bow dials, which are probably the things that will snag on something. But other than that, they're nice and smooth, and they have got these small perforations in the side for breathability. And they have got a cushioned EVA sole for midfoot comfort as well. I did wash them basically just before I was recording a couple of days ago, and what I did found is they took quite a while to dry, longer, or maybe slightly longer than the old version, but lots of flats have the same problems. So if they do get wet, I would have thought that would get quite a bit heavier, and it may take a while for them to drain or dry. So that's something to take into account if you're going to use them for an XE ride or a ride where you're going over lots of rivers or in the wet. Comfort wise, they're pretty good to walk around in. They are, I found, better than the old shoe. Maybe they've got a bit more flexibility, or they're not as stiff where you don't need it. But I have found I've been walking around in them and I haven't felt as though I'm walking in cycling shoes. So yeah, thumbs up for comfort. Specialized calls this the landing strip, and they said that they've improved it so you can snap in and out of the bike a lot easier. Now, I haven't noticed the difference between the new and the old. I haven't had any problem getting my foot out of the bike. That wasn't my fault with too tight pedals. So yeah, I found it quite easy to get them in and out. So I've had no problems with that at all. So I don't know if they did improve it or not, but they have changed it. Let's look at the rubber on the sole. Now, this is the last iteration, the Slipknot 3 soles, and I've heard good things about this rubber, almost as good as 510s apparently, if not better. That's a big claim, that's for sure. But I would certainly say it is a massive improvement on the old version, because this tread is pretty small, and also the rubber isn't sticky at all. In fact, just walking around and if you have to walk around on a mud, you'll soon see why, because I was flat on my backside so many times walking on mud in this shoe. Now, this shoe is a lot better, and also it's a lot better because I have used it on flats just a couple of times, and I feel as though that the rubber sticks to those flats pretty well, and just as well as my 510s actually. So these are pretty good, and if you can't be bothered to change your cleats and have got a short ride on flats, or one ride on flats, then you can use these with the cleats in. These shoes are 340 New Zealand dollars. You can probably pick them up for around 300 New Zealand dollars. So they are, like quite a lot of Specialized products, pretty pricey, but they do last a while. If they're anything like my old 2FO shoes, they're going to last you in the region of 3 years or so of, you know, pretty decent riding. To wrap it up then, the old shoe and the new shoe. Some really good improvements in the new shoe. It is comfortable. The biggest difference I find is the rubber. I do like the boa dials and the fit and the comfort and the looks off the bike and on the bike. So to me, it is a very good shoe. Great shoe for trail riding, great shoe for enduro riding. It is a little bit pricey though, but I'm hoping to get a good 3 years out of these shoes. If you like the content, give me a thumbs up and please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.